I'm gonna need a lot of chai tea for this reading vlog. Because for some reason, I've decided to try and read 4 books at the same time. No one is making me do this. I'm just so excited about them all, I couldn't pick. So welcome to a new reading vlog. Let's get into what I want to read this week. Will it happen? Probably not. Here we go. All right. What I started first is The House of Whispers by Laura Purcell. And I have mentioned this in a previous reading vlog because this is a library book that I picked up. So this is her latest, and I read about 50 pages. Yes, exactly 50 pages last night. And so far, basically, there's a young woman who is arriving at a very large, kind of decrepit old mansion on the cliffs. And the woman she is there to take care of is very strange and old and decrepit herself. But this young woman clearly has a mysterious past that she is definitely running away from. And according to the blurb on the back, we're also going to have another timeline. So there's present timeline, her mysterious past timeline, and then the original timeline when this creepy old house on the cliffs was first made, and about the family that lived there. The other one I've already started, which is Stormfront by Jim Butcher, and this is the first in the Dresden Files series. I cannot tell you how many people have begged me to read this series. Finally happening! And this is a urban fantasy series, and there's like a crap ton of books in this series. I think they're still coming out, but they're all pretty short. They're all around like 300, 400 pages. So I thought, why not? I'll give the first one a try. This is obviously another library book as well. And I only started this morning, so I'm only 40 pages in, but I'm enjoying the humor so far, and I'm intrigued to see and learn more about the magic system and, you know, the urban fantasy elements of it. But so far, all I know is that Harry Dresden is a wizard, and he's a wizard for hire. And he works with the police to investigate any criminal cases that are magic in element. And that's about it so far. Okay. The other two, which I haven't started yet. First up is They Call Him Sizzlebone by Brett Tallman. And this was sent to me by the author for review. And it sounded really wacky and wild in the description, and so I said, yeah, sure, send it over. And then lastly is another library pick. This is a blind pick that I picked up off of the new releases shelves. Oligarchy by Scarlett Thomas, and this just sounded really kind of a little bit strange, a little bit relevant, and a couple of things that I like in books. This is set in a boarding school with a young woman who is joining there for the first time, and I believe she is the daughter of a Russian oligarch or something like that. And the boarding school is a little bit fucked up. It seems like the headmaster pays attention mostly to the skinniest and the prettiest ladies. And there's also sort of a ghost story. There's like a legend of a ghost of a woman that was murdered, but then one of the modern day students goes missing. I don't know. It really intrigued me, and like, some of the blurbs on the back really got me to pick it up. This one says, the savagery of private girls' school in England is not to be underestimated and never to be forgotten upon reading Oligarchy. Scarlett Thomas's scathing and brilliantly written novel of wealth and vanity run terribly amok. So yeah, sounds dope. So those are my reading plans for this week. Will I get through them? Probably not, but it's good to have goals. Alright, I wanted to give you guys a quick reading update because I've made quite a dent in 2 of the books. First up is The House of Whispers, and I am 102 pages in. I'm really enjoying it. It's very atmospheric. It's very, like, gothic horror. I also really love our main character, Esther. She is definitely an unreliable narrator, and I think she's definitely a little cuckoo for sure. In her last job, she worked for a very wealthy woman, and she got super obsessed with her, like to the point where the woman got pregnant. And Esther was thinking about how the woman will spend more time playing with the baby and loving the baby than paying attention to her. So she thinks about killing the baby. Like, she's possessive as hell. In her new place of work, she's almost kind of like cruel and impatient with the elderly woman that she's taking care of. So I don't really know who Esther is yet, but I'm very intrigued by her. But it makes me laugh because she changed her name when she moved from the old assignment to the new one because she left with a bit of drama behind her, and so she wanted to go undercover for her new job. And her original name was Esther Stevens, and her fake name is Hester Y. Esther, you could have tried a little bit harder to be a little sneakier. Really enjoying it. It's starting to get really creepy. I'm not too sure where the story is going yet, and we haven't had any moments about the original house yet. It's all been kind of set in the present, so I'm curious to see when we take a turn into the creation of this house and its original residence. And I have an apology to give to everyone who's ever recommended me this book, because turns out they were right, and I do love it. I didn't think I would like Harry Dresden based on how people described him, but he's charming. He's won me over, to be honest. I actually think he's really funny. He's a bit of an idiot, but he's also super smart, but he's kind of useless. Like, I just really like him a lot. Basically, Harry Dresden is like a private investigator kind of, and he's a human wizard, and he like helps people find missing people or helps people investigate like spells gone wrong, that kind of thing. And he's currently working on a case with the police where a sex worker and her customer were found murdered with their hearts ripped out of their chest, and it seems pretty clear that only a very dark magician could do that. So Harry is investigating that, and then he's also investigating a woman who told him that her husband is missing. And while he started tracking him down, the wife called him back and was like, "Just kidding, don't help me, nothing's going wrong, everything's fine, but don't help me, here's your money, bye." So I'm very intrigued to see how these entwine, but I'm really enjoying his hijinks and his sense of humor, and you guys are right. You guys are right. You know me too well. I really enjoy it. So that's where I'm at. I'm hoping I can get these 2 finished over the next day or so. I mean, they're only like 300 pages. I'm just over halfway through this one, and House of Whispers is only 315, so I'm like a quarter of a way through it. They both read really fast, and I'm really enjoying them, and I'm looking forward to actually having some time to just read as much as I want with no interruptions, and I can't wait. Look at this lighting. Who is she? Just perfectly lit with my giant zit. Anyway, it's Friday evening and I want to read my book, but first I'm making myself clean the whole apartment, finish the laundry, and finally write the review for Empire of the Vampire, because it's due like next week and I haven't written it yet, and I really, really, really need to do that. So I'm not allowing myself to read until I have done those 3 things. Fingers crossed. I really don't want to write that review. Not because I didn't love the book. I love the book so much, but I just have this weird writer's block thing going on I'm dealing with in therapy, and it's just super intimidating to write a review for that book that I love so much, and I need to put it into words, and I just... I just finished Stormfront and I enjoyed it immensely. I found it was super fast paced. It was like a total adventure story. Harry Dresden is so funny and charming and an idiot, and I love him. I've already put the second book on hold at the library because I want to keep going with the series. Yeah, I didn't think I would like it as much as I did, but wow, yeah, I guess I'm a Harry Dresden fan now. And I just love the comedy aspect of it. Like, it's really, really funny. And I wanted to read this one part. This is just the level of comedy. My head was throbbing and my hands were shaking, but I went down the ladder to my workroom and started figuring out how to rip someone's heart out of his chest from 50 miles away. Who says I never do anything fun on a Friday night? Like, it's super sarcastic. It's super fun. I keep saying the word fun. I'm terrible at this, but I loved it. So now I'm going to do a little bit of reorganizing, and then I'm going to jump back into the other book I was reading, and maybe I'll finish that one today. Who knows? All right, it is Sunday evening and got a lot of reading done today, and we got to play D&D and it was super fun. I finished The House of Whispers this evening and it was absolutely incredible. 5 out of 5 stars. The ending was, I did not see it coming and it was crazy. Overall, I would say this book is like a mix of Crimson Peak meets A Cure for Wellness meets Fairy Tale, A True Story. It was gothic, it was dark, it was creepy. I genuinely loved every page of it. I highly recommend if you like slow burn gothic horror, you're gonna love this book so much. And now that's 2 books that I read from Laura Purcell, and they have both been absolutely incredible. 5 out of 5 stars. So I think she might become an auto-read author for me. I know she has another book, I believe, called The Historians, which I would like to look for, whether library or bookstore or whatever, but I'm really eager to get to that one soon because she is absolutely incredible. She's a really amazing writer. Now, in bad news, I decided to DNF this book about 60 pages in. As you know, I don't like to talk shit about books, but this one, it just wasn't for me. There's sort of a pervertedness to it that didn't feel necessary. The author also used the R word twice, and the first time I was like, this character's kind of a dick, right? Maybe this is why we're hearing him use that word. And then it showed up a second time and I was like, oh no, okay, this guy just didn't have a sensitivity reader. So I'm gonna DNF this one, and that's a shame. I feel bad. He sent it to me and, he wrote it. I'm sure he worked very hard, but it's not for me, so I'm not going to continue and I'm not going to review it. And lastly, I got 15 pages into this bad boy. It's hard to judge a book by 15 pages, but it is definitely a little odd and quirky, and it seems like we're not really supposed to like any of the girls in this book, which I kind of like when you read a book with a lot of awful characters, but they're not like mean and evil. It's just like, these are a bunch of teenage girls. Like, teenage girls are hard to like sometimes, they're going through a lot of shit. They got a tough life no matter where they are or where they come from. Teenage girls have a lot going on. So I'm looking forward to diving more into this evening. But I would also like to find a second read because I'm really enjoying reading 2 books at the same time. But I think 4 was definitely a little too ambitious. So I will wrap up the vlog here. So thanks for watching, you guys. I hope you're having a good week so far, and I'll see you in the next one.